Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday show. How is it going? All right, and wow, it's it's not been a very exciting week, I can say. It's been rather quiet on my front. I've had a few busy days, but for the most part, I was just churning out all my stuff. Kat and I have been building on the vanilla server quite a lot, so that's been loads of fun. We've recorded like 6 hours worth of stuff. So to get that all rendered down is going to take a little while. I need to do heavy editing to get it to be anything interesting, because we tend to build a bit and we're talking about what we're building, and then we go quiet, and then quiet, and then it's all like, yeah, can you come take a look at this? And then we talk a bit about what we're doing, and so forth and so on. So there's a lot to edit down. I think the video that was released on Friday, it took me I think it's like a 20-minute video. I can't remember the exact time of it. That's over an hour of footage, just cut away. So that took a long time, because you have to listen to the whole thing over and over and over to know when to cut and when to edit away and so forth. It's really difficult, way more difficult than I hadn't actually anticipated, but I'm better prepared for it now, I think. Other than that, I mean, Hypermine continues. Zul'jin released his video about his intentions for the Hypermine replacement. Well, we're still months away from that, so don't worry. The Hypermine series of mine is not going away. It's taken a little bit of a backseat to the vanilla now, because I'm back in vanilla and excited for vanilla again. So there's lots of stuff coming. Once we're finished with the cathedral, I've got a whole bunch of other ideas that I want to get into. All in all, I'm really looking forward to carrying on in vanilla. So there's at least another month or two, I think two, before the modded server goes down and is replaced by the Bucket/Forge server. And obviously we will play on that, but I'll need to find another place to do all my modded stuff, which is because I don't want to lose that. I very much enjoy modded Minecraft. It's what got me into YouTube in the first place, and I could play it for hours and hours and hours and hours, and I never get bored because there's always something different for me to look at, which is fun. Other than that, I'm trying to think what else. I recently went through all my minigame episodes all the recording, just to give you an idea of just how much of this stuff I've been doing. And I edited it all down, and I thought I was being super clever, and I ended up with 21 episodes of minigames. And that's way too many, because all of it's going to be out of date by the time it comes out. So I'm cutting that down. That's another process. I'm probably going to release 5 out of those 20, one or so, maybe 6. But I'm going to look to record some more stuff. Obviously, Joe keeps hitting me up for minigames, which is awesome. Kat will probably join me. Maybe I can get some of the other hyperminers to join in. We can have a bunch of fun that way. And definitely look forward to more minigames, because I love those. What I should do is probably convince Patience or MK to take me on Boozycraft. That'd be fun. I get smashed because I'm terrible at that game. Oh no. Anyway, I should probably cut it off here because I didn't have a lot to say. But I believe that my guest coming up has a lot to say. He asked me before. Well, when I asked him, he asked me if there was a time limit. There's a time limit on what you can say. So I have no idea what he's going to say, but I expect him to really fill up those minutes. We shall see. Anyway. Alright, everybody. So without much further ado, let's bring on our guest for today, the fantastic Drakkart.
Hello there, everybody.
Hey, man.
Oh,
Welcome to the show.
I need to find my spot here. Hey, Tick.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks for having me here.
Hey, don't worry, you are in frame. Everything's fine.
Yeah. I tried
Excellent.
following the explanations of how the studio works, which is
Yep,
a really like
it's super complex.
interesting world and all. I mean, hey, I came in, and
Hmm.
I need to tell this to the audience, right? So I came in here,
Okay.
and you spawn on a kind of a highway, and you are able to look down to the actual street down below,
Hmm.
and there is like a club entrance with an iron golem standing there, and a lot of villagers in the queued, and
Yep.
it's crazy, man. I mean, what do you have here? That studio, man. That's crazy. Okay, so sorry.
Yeah, that's with my special immobile villagers just waiting to get in. That's why they want to come to the show.
Yeah, Gollum does a pretty good job there. No doubt
Yeah,
about
as you can
that.
see,
I
there's
mean, I
nobody in the
wouldn't let
studio.
those noses in as well.
Yeah, I'm very nosist. If you've got a big nose, I don't like you.
Yeah.
All right, awesome, man. Well, thank you very much for coming onto the show.
It's an honor to be here.
Um, ah, great pleasure to have you here. Oh man, so I mean, you've been badgering me about the show for quite a while. You're the first person every time to say, "Hey, where's the show?" if it's not there.
Actually, yeah, I like the format and like well, how about we turn this around a little? Why don't you like tell us like now in front of camera like
Oh yeah. Oh,
how did you come to that thing? Like
okay. All right. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So as a YouTuber, you're always looking to do something different or unique or special that will make your channel stand out. Because there are millions of people making videos now,
yeah, kind of.
and anybody can just sort of throw together an LP. It may not be very good, but anybody can do it. So I thought about what it is that I wanted to actually do that would be interesting. And I've always actually wanted to be a talk show host. I love those shows. I love shows where they bring on people and they talk to them and they just find out more about them. And I started out just doing the show as an update for what was going on my channel and in my life. Whilst I built up all my contacts, because it's very difficult to start up a talk show if you don't know anybody. Very difficult.
We were
So,
actually sorry if I interrupt you.
no,
Like
carry on.
again. Sorry. We were actually like trying to talk about that, and then I said, wait. I'd like to ask you that in the show.
Yeah,
And
so you're interviewing me now.
so what actually like if you are doing a show, I mean it's a fun thing and it's so unique. So but you still had this problem of like getting people to actually like taking a little time to get an interview.
Yeah, I mean, it's because this really is an entirely selfish show. Even though I show people off and I try to get as much feedback back to the community, because it just basically sits on my channel and nearly everybody I interview is bigger than I am. The real benefit comes to me.
Does it?
And yeah, I get,
Bec-
well, I stick your name on it.
But the thing is, like, you're actually doing a collab, and you're the only one
Mhm.
uploading it. Like,
Yeah,
you are basically giving every visitor, yeah, like promotion, kind of. So,
well, that's how I like to see it. Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, hey, what's the big deal in like getting people, getting them promoted? Like, who would not want that?
Well, I mean, it's a double-edged sword there. It obviously gets you guys some promotion. But I'm not exactly a large channel, so the promotion is small. And at the same time, if I interview somebody who's relatively tiny, then the show doesn't actually go anywhere. It's really difficult because I want to interview. I will interview anybody and everybody. That's why my list of people to invite onto the show is huge.
Folks,
it will take me over a year.
If you need someone to get a shout out, to get your shout out, here, like Twitter, take Alvarian, right? Twitter him, and get here, like on this couch, getting filmed.
There we go. We'll make it happen. We'll get everybody on here. There's enough YouTubers out there that I could do this show forever, for sure.
Indeed, yeah, because like I think every week there are several new upcomings, and you just do one show a week, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If at all.
So. Well, there have been a couple of weeks out of the 20 I've been doing this, so I'm not doing too bad.
I actually saw your first ones, or it's not the first, maybe the third or stuff like that, and was like checking in like now and then, because the format is really cool in the sense of actually it's not important what these two peeps sitting there are actually doing, because the important stuff is the audio, like what they are talking about. So,
that's right.
So yeah. I could like listen to it while I was like using the bus or getting somewhere, or like doing other stuff like making thumbnails. I could have run the show in the background. So, and it comes out Sunday night. So this is when both me and my wife both prepare for Monday, and we are like mentally already in, okay, what do I have to do tomorrow, right? So basically, if you prepare stuff and then your show comes up, this is like what I was always missing. Like it's not a TV program that is like filled of stuff I'm not interested in, like, at all. No, it's like this YouTube show, two people talking about, well, most likely YouTube channels and Minecraft, right? So that's what I'm interested in, right?
That's exactly it.
So that is why I noticed a lot when the show was not online.
It's something that I dreaded. Every time a show didn't come out, I knew I was going to hear from you.
I hope not in such a negative sense. Like, I hope I was not getting annoying or stuff like that.
Oh no, definitely not. It was a good little check for myself to make sure I was making an impact.
So
man.
you started out alone, and then you had this, like, you started interviewing people, and I know a lot, like I mean, yeah, it's mostly Hypercraft and now some Blockcentric guys, and you had
and Aniki Domo from Godiva Gaming.
Yeah. So I mean, from how I viewed it, right? It's more like you started doing this thing, and afterwards you could pretty much invite anyone, because it's just a cool format. Because everybody would like to sit here and chat with you for about an hour. Why not? I mean, it's a cool thing to do, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what I want. That's. I'm getting to that stage now where I can almost ask anybody, I think. I do have some other people coming on because I've been working my way through Hypermine, obviously. That was the easiest way for me to start, with all the people that I knew and played with regularly. And from them, I've been able to branch out, like to yourself, Moose and Aniki. And it's been really great for me, because it's been a fantastic way for me to network with other people. Because the show gives me a nice platform to meet new people.
Indeed.
All right. Well, let's veer off this for a second, because I invited you here.
Okay. Yeah. You got questions. I heard.
Ah, yeah. So, I mean, if we go by your YouTube channel, you've been making videos for just over a year now?
I
Or
started December 2011. 4th December was my first upload.
right, okay, was that on a different channel, or is it because YouTube isn't showing me all of your
No,
videos
I think
anymore?
it's still there.
All right.
It's just like
Ah,
the oldest. It's a.
it's a while
I
ago.
tried this. Maybe you heard it already. I think Aniki also mentioned it. When you love Redstone and you're
Hmm.
looking for tutorials on YouTube, you will most likely find some glitchy stuff that just
Yes.
works in one special version of Minecraft or has some mechanic in it that gets fixed in some patch or another. Now the thing is,
Yeah, yeah.
um, you don't if you don't do YouTube, you don't realize that actually a lot of people are trying to do solid. I would say I'd call it solid redstone without
Oh,
using
okay.
such glitches. But
Right, right.
because it's like just because it's cool, those videos which just work for a short while and are like be it very compact or be it whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
like they get upvoted a lot. So if you're
Yeah, because
looking
they're
for
usually
something
cool
on
designs.
YouTube, you basically find all the glitchy upvoted stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep,
every
every time.
Redstoner or everybody with a passion for Redstone thinks about it. Hey, how about I would do a show and explain it right? Not realizing that a lot of people actually are trying to do that, but their stuff,
Hmm.
well, it just does not get upvoted. I have
Yeah,
no
yeah.
clue why that is, but it is, yeah.
Well, it's usually all the glitzy sort of high impact people who get voted, and compact designs are always really popular,
Right.
even if they rely on weird things like powered rail bud switches and stuff.
And that's the key. And sadly, like as I view it, let's face it, what is our core audience? Right? Minecraft. What is the
Mm.
core
Yep.
audience of a Minecraft YouTube channel? That's most likely teenagers or yeah, I'd say
Yeah, yeah. I'd say
yeah,
teenagers to
teenagers,
early
right.
adult.
And they don't distinguish between what's solid and what's not. They just
No.
look at it and either it's cool or it's not, right? So they
Yeah, yeah.
don't have this thing of okay, what is the more durable build? What is the more sort of mechanic usage here? They just go for, oh
Yep.
yeah, that's really cool. It's super compact and such. And at the same
Hmm.
time, they are also the most vocal majority, um, then demanding fixes.
Yeah, of course. Well, they're the most connected people, so they're always going to be. You're going to hear their voice loudly. So you started out on Minecraft tutorials.
Yeah,
Uh, your Drakkart explained stuff,
right.
which are quite interesting because they take a very new person aspect. You don't expect the person to be who's viewing your show to actually know anything about what you're going to do, and you explain it all the way through.
Actually, I try to.
You came across pretty well, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. I wouldn't do it if I would not love how the outcome is.
Hmm.
But the thing is, if you want to get the recognition for it as well, you kind of have to find a balance between explaining in detail and
Yep.
keeping the video in like there is this 3 minute something rule. I don't agree with that rule because that was made for other formats, not Minecraft
Right.
tutorials. But
Okay. I've never heard that, but that's interesting.
it basically says the usual YouTube viewer has a 3 minute
Oh, the
concentration
attention
span
span.
thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and so if you do vlogs or stuff like that, people try to
Hmm.
keep that small. You can't
Yes. Yeah.
keep complex stuff small, but you could grasp this essence of don't bore your viewers. And I
Yes,
think this
that's
is a
the most
pretty important concept for when you are doing stuff. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
definitely.
also, which also applies to Let's Play series, right? A lot of Let's Play
Yes, most
series,
definitely.
even some really, really big ones. I mean, there are guys like just building a pool for 45 minutes, and that's all they do in their entire Let's Play series, and they keep talking. And I'm like, what the hell? You're talking 40 minutes about a, pool, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, how boring is that, right?
Oh yeah, I
I'd
can't watch
make,
that.
30 cuts and I'll show you, okay, I'm going to play the pool. Okay, I talked for 40 minutes. Here's the result. Like,
Yeah.
that won't show you the 40 minutes because they're boring.
Yeah, no. Geez, I can't be interesting for 40 minutes. That's nuts.
So
That's why I bring you people in.
I think it's like everything, it's like a learning process. But
Mm,
back to the thing, if you apply this don't bore your viewers rule kind of, um, you are actually I started then scripting stuff, not
right.
like exactly what I have to say, but like
Yeah,
to
but a rough
have
idea, yeah.
this list of bullet points. What is
Hmm.
important regarding this build? And then you go like, okay, what are the pros? What are the cons? What is bam, 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 right? And
Yeah, yeah.
those videos actually, just by writing these bullet points down and just being able to have a look at them, those turned out to be those 3-minute compacted, but
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the information is in it videos, which then run really, really, really well in YouTube search.
Yes. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
And YouTube search for anyone who does not do Let's Plays, because I mean, how to take a Let's Play, right? But if you're doing other
Yeah.
stuff, learn how to learn the whole SEO thing, because that is essential for your videos to get found.
Yes. Yeah, no, definitely. You need to understand how keywords work as well, and how those help. There's a lot of science behind making sure your videos come up.
Indeed, indeed. And
So,
I'd say it's 15% Minecraft knowledge,
mhm.
it's 30% video editing knowledge, and it's
Yeah, oh, yeah.
all the rest YouTube knowledge to make
Yeah, yeah,
those work.
definitely. And about 6 or 7 hours per video. Have fun.
It depends. It really depends on what you're doing, but yes, some are pretty time intense, and some
Mm.
are like really you're building the whole thing for the 20th times. Just
Yes, yeah,
because
that's.
you messed up in the building process at one point, and you want that
Mm.
one building process to be one smooth go, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can be taking multiple takes just to make sure it looks right
Yeah,
and that it's smooth.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like meanwhile, I am not like tuning down my how to say that quality level, but I'm like
Mhm.
in one of my recent tutorials there was like I had the build already built just to show what we are going to do, and then I
Yes, yeah.
started building it, and while I was building it, then the already built farm triggered harvest mode, right?
All right, yes, I remember.
And so I got distracted from that and then floated over, oh, harvesting time, and then floated back. And I just left it in because
Yeah, it was fine.
what the heck? It's 20 seconds more. It might be a smile for one or the other.
Hmm.
If you really can't like appreciate me offering a video for free about such a concept, and these 20 seconds are disturbing you, you won't be my viewer anyway.
That's see, awesome attitude. That's it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just recently had a talk with or more like a comment with Moxman, and
mhm.
I brought up this. Well, actually, there are people which are doing stuff for their audience on YouTube, and there are other
Yeah.
people which are doing what they want to do and let YouTube find their audience for them.
Yes. Yes. And that's my way of doing it.
It,
I'm not actively
in my point of view, it's the
catering.
only real way to do it.
Well, it's the only way to keep doing it and have fun, I
Right,
think.
right. Being authentic, being yourself. So
Hmm.
yeah, try rescuing that from all the I want a successful channel thing, because you can only become successful if you love what you do.
And that's this week's YouTube tip. You can only be successful if you enjoy what you do. All right. So, you fairly early on, you started up Blockcentric.
Mm-hmm.
So, what brought you to do that?
Actually, like I was when I was starting YouTube, that maybe I should start a little further because it's quite a funny anecdote.
All right, let's go for it. I got time. I got time.
Yeah, hopefully. So, hopefully your viewers got time as well. Hey, folks, like, don't run away. No. So, okay.
You sit right there. We're gonna listen to this, and you're gonna like it.
So, maybe I should start what brought me to YouTube.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I was sitting there watching one of my favorite Let's Players making a really boring episode. And I went
Oh.
like, what the? I was really looking forward to the next episode because he had started a cool building project of sorts.
Hmm.
And then he came up with this "I'm not in the mood for it" thing. Like,
Oh.
I mean,
Oh, that's nice.
I was so angry about that moment, about him in that moment, that I was sitting behind my PC and I was just um, telling my wife in that moment. Well, back then she wasn't, but anyway,
Yeah.
telling my wife in that moment, honey, I'm going to make YouTube videos, just out of frustration, because he is. I was sitting there and saying, man, even I could have done that better, right? Even I could have turned this in a more entertaining thing, right? So what the
Yep.
hell are
Yep.
you offering me? I am your subscriber. I'm your viewer. Like, come on,
Hmm.
man. And I thought like she would like pull me back on the carpet, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And no, from the other end
Oh,
of
she
the room
encouraged you.
came, hey, great, I'm going to do a cooking show.
Oh.
So there I had it, right? And yeah, we actually started doing that. Same night, I like Googled for what kind of software would I have to need and what kind of stuff
Mhm.
would I have to need, like microphones, stuff like that. Actually, I
Yeah. Yeah.
had a part of my studies was the whole multimedia thing, how to.
Ah. Right. Okay.
So basically, I kind of knew what to Google for, and
Hmm.
came up with results. I mean, first, if you do something, lesson for life.
Yeah.
If you want to do something right,
Yep.
don't ask for cheap advice.
Hmm.
Sit
Hmm.
down, make your research, and if you don't know what to research for, search terms used in that, how's it called, job thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Medium.
In that
Yeah.
whatever, yeah, terms like what are common terms which are used there, like frame rates, like all this lingo that is around a certain
Right.
topic,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
Google each of them
Codex,
up.
bitrate.
And if you're then looking for equipment, make sure you understood all of that lingo parts, and then
Hmm.
pick your equipment by combining this knowledge about the lingo with common sense, right? Think about it. What would I want to do, right? And then you'll easily notice, you might not. What kind of microphone would I need, and what makes actually sense, right? And then you look up what you need, and then you start Googling who offers what kind of product. And okay, do it yourself. Really know what you want to do. Figure it out yourself. Okay, short tip aside. So where are we? Right, right. That night I had to Google like the software we needed to do, or I needed to like do all that stuff because she wanted to do stuff like in a real video thing.
Right,
and
yeah. So
I need to record my screen and my voice and the game sound. So that was kind of a what kind of software do we use to accomplish all that? And right, did my research, picked the software, set it up, and then I really tried. Okay, so where to start? Well, let's start doing these Redstone thingies and actually explaining how stuff works. And from there on, it was this learning curve of, okay, now it's not like YouTube does not have these kind of videos. They just don't get the views because they are not as popular like glitchy stuff. I call it glitchy stuff. It's no offense to anyone. I mean, I'm cool with everything people come up with, but
it's not that it's glitchy. It's just that it utilizes something that possibly wasn't always intended.
Yeah,
like bud switches. Or
kind of. I mean, seriously. I mean, Redstone now, if you ask me, is in a better shape than the pre-Redstone patch, right?
Yeah.
Because it just is not. There are so many behavior thingies that are besides the norm, besides the rule, which like make it totally. Yeah, there's more like besides the rule than actually how it should work, kind of.
Yeah. Well, it's a very simple thing that is broken in loads of ways.
Okay, so back to what was the original question?
Well, it started out about how you started up Blockcentric, and then we went back to how you started YouTube. So you've just started YouTube. Okay. You found your stuff.
I had started YouTube, and the same time then I was thinking about like, I also want to do a Let's Play, because that was the initial thing. Like, man, I could do that better than you, right?
Yeah.
I was trying that, and I am not a single player like at all. Like whenever there is the option of doing stuff together, I mean, we had the biggest fun for me as in my puberty was like playing with others while there was no internet yet.
Yes, yeah.
So what we actually did, we brought the machines over, connected them, and then we were racing against each other or shooting at each other or whatever, right? I mean,
good old lads. Best way.
The games back there, pretty much they were, they were more pixelated, but at the same time even more fun. Some of them. So
definitely. I play lots of older games all the time. I believe they had loads more heart back then because they were limited. They were limited, so they had to.
A friend of mine actually got himself a Rhapsody Pi and built a casing for it with old Competition Pro joysticks.
Oh right.
So we are able to actually play Bubble Bobble and all these old C64 games on this thing. That's really big fun. Like getting there,
that sounds
bring
awesome.
some beers and then let's play stuff. Okay, so
that sounds like loads of fun.
I was
so Blockcentric.
Yeah, I was always the multiplayer thing, and I thought like, okay, I need a server to play there, And when you are out there, when you're looking for servers, the first thing you notice is that there are tons of servers out there, that they are
Yes.
all advertising as crazy to get new people.
Yep.
And when you're actually on there, they might get shut down after a month.
Yes. Yeah.
When the contract ends, it might not be renewed.
Renewed. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's expensive. It's not cheap
It's not
for a
that
semi-decent server.
the money. Often it's not even the money. It's just like when you're walking around and you just see floating treetops everywhere and creeper holes unfilled up and just signs everywhere like I was doing a prank on an obsidian mountain, right? A mountain out of obsidian, a sign in front of I just wanted to prank you, right? And it's just start of the game, so people might not have diamond.
Yeah.
Then you actually just imagine what might be below this mountain buried, and you know that guy won't have fun anymore on this server.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
sadly, it is you run into a lot of such stuff. And so I met Silvergecko on one of these servers. Well, it was a more decent one, but still pretty young members and a little bit chaotic still.
It's a typical public server type thing.
No, it actually was a private server, but there is a certain feel for aesthetics. What does feel good, what does look good, and what doesn't. And if you have a certain how's it called? If you want a certain kind of quality in your videos, you don't have time to clean up what everybody else is like doing.
Yes.
So what you need is you want to log on, you want to make your video, and you want to be sure that wherever your lens might point, that everything there will look at least okay.
Yeah.
So you can't
not just walls of cobble.
You can't have mud huts, you can't have floating treetops, you can't have creeper holes anywhere.
Yep.
Because this means you have to interrupt your recording and cut a part of your recording time, which might be rare already, to clean stuff up, because otherwise we are not given the tools like green screen, blue screen to edit landscape in.
Yeah.
Either the landscape fits or I have to fix it first.
Yeah, and that's all time consuming.
Right, and if you don't have the time for such stuff, you are wondering, okay, well, maybe there are a lot of servers out there, but I need one I can actually record on. And so Gecko and I agreed on, hey, whatever, let's just start a server together. And I bought one, and we started building this season 1, the spawn thing.
Yes.
And that was also like how we tried to invite people. And then we started from there. Had fun, and then grew pretty slowly, because actually the idea was to have people kind of participate for the slots.
Right, okay.
But it actually turned out the majority of people is so used to just posting, this is my IGN, this is my age, this is my whatever, right? And when will I get on the server? And we got a load of such stuff as well.
Yeah, I can
And
imagine.
actually, I am guild leading since 1990, kind of.
Yeah.
First Dark Age of Camelot, then World of Warcraft, then other stuff like that. And
Yeah.
so I basically had a feel of what are the people which I want to interact with. What kind of
Yeah.
people, what kind of breed of people is that? And
Yeah. Particular types of players.
right, and those are really rare, I'd say.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, totally agree.
You need you need members if you want to if you like first of all, of course, right? You have to have people which love Minecraft. Okay, that's the
Yeah.
easy part. Then you
Yeah.
have
There's
to
lots of us.
then in regards of Blockcentric, I just thought about, well, we have to position ourselves somewhere. So
Hmm.
what is unique about Blockcentric? And what I aimed for was this, well, we have kind of three different kind of people or mixture of that on there. Um,
Yeah.
Builders, like people which are actually really good in doing patterns, buildings,
Hmm.
color schemes, and make this all fit together, which do these really awesome builds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Redstoners, those guys which do all the technical crazy mumbo jumbo,
Yeah.
and character players. So
Right. Yeah.
you are looking for either one of them or like a mixture between them, or like just, I'd say there's also like just a socialize aspect for some people, which is also really really important when
Yes.
your server crew gets a little bigger. So you want at some point you want to have a girl in there. There's
Oh, of
basically
course.
no way around that. It's just because like it freshes everything up so much. So okay,
Hmm.
so you have like let's say four kind of people. So anyway, and
Yeah.
then not only do they have to love the stuff, but they also have to show a certain what's it called? A certain quantity of dedication to the entire
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And they
Hmm.
also need to understand that we are doing this together to basically grow as a family and like pushing each other kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
it's kind of a bigger concept around the whole servicing. And for most people out there, they would like to be on cool servers, but when confronted with what it means to play on such a server, they are like, "Oh man, this is going to be work, right?" And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
say, "Of course. I mean, it's fun work, but yes,
Hmm.
actually, it requires maybe even more dedication as you would like put into a job you get paid for,
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I
because
spend way more time on this.
you should love this thing or leave it.
Yeah.
And well, getting people which see it that way is a this is a real task for every server owner.
Oh, yeah. It's incredibly difficult. All right. So, how did you get the name Blockcentric? How did that come about?
That was actually when Gecko and I were playing and building this first spawn thing. We were thinking
Hmm.
about a logo stuff, and yeah, basically we were just designing, and then we came up with this XC, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And is there any rule that like these how is this called, like these shortening forms, for example, IBM is
Anagrams. Yeah.
how
Not anagrams.
idiom,
I can't remember.
how's it called?
I can't remember right off the top of my head now that you bring it up.
So in
Fantastic.
industrial business machines would be IBM, right? Is there
Yeah. Yeah.
any rule that it always has to be the first letter? No,
No, I don't think so.
regarding making a brand or regarding making something that stands out, actually there are no given real set in stone rules.
No, of course not. That would be silly.
Right, because if you
It
want
would
to
limit
make something
creativity.
that stands out, rules are restricting. Period.
Yep.
So, yeah, there are certain guidelines of how to establish a brand, how to establish something, right? But in the end, it
Yeah.
comes down to, do you have a great idea that could work? If so, go for it. And XC for blocks
Yep.
centric, like focused around blocks, works.
Yeah, it works. It's a great. I like your logo because it's immediately noticeable and it always just reminds me of Blockcentric. So I know what it is as soon as I'm looking at it. It's a pretty fantastic one, and it's easy to replicate in Minecraft, which is very important.
Actually, the guys tried to make the logo again
Yeah.
in our new Nether hub. Maybe you saw it, and they tried
Yeah.
rounding it. And I went like, nope. Look, you
That's not gonna work.
can get here the actually black and white version of the Blockcentric logo in high-res. It's 2,500 something on 2,000. It's high-res,
Oh wow.
but it keeps this blocky shape. It's all
Yeah.
big black blocks. And
Well, it's right there in the name.
and
It's
I
right there
told
in the
them,
name.
you never ever change a logo. That's a
Yep.
no-go, right? So they fixed it back, and then like
Now it's all
Xanthos
good.
told me, hey, that looks cool too.
All right. I've got the most difficult question for you right now.
Okay, shoot.
It came up previously in another interview. You saw it, I imagine.
Uh,
How did you and Moose meet?
Meat?
Yeah, yeah. How did he get onto Blockcentric? Because he tells me he can't remember it, and neither can you.
How did Moose? The thing is, like, if you ask me, like, how the really old members came along, Moose is the one guy I might not be able to recall the story entirely.
That's awesome. He's just this mystery guy who showed up on your server one day and just never went away.
No, the thing is, I know exactly how I met Joe, because
Yep.
Joe was like, he had 8 subscribers, and I just stumbled upon one of his LP episodes, and like I just heard this voice, right? He was doing his morning voice, and
Yeah.
like Grumpy Pirate thing, right? And
Yep.
I just looked at the video and immediately like went interacting with him, like giving him tips and stuff like that. And
Yep.
then he corrected a lot, and basically it seems to me like I was the only interacting fan he had back then, because I loved his voice, right? So I know exactly how that started. I also know exactly how I met D, and I
Yeah.
also like Gecko. I told you already how I met Gecko.
Yep.
But Moose was like,
Just there.
actually no. The thing is, when you run a server like that, you are going invite only from basically the first moment on.
Yes.
Because you will have to pick your first members really, really, really carefully. So this is what I have been, what I learned through experience all through the years when running guilds.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to be successful and have fun at the same time, like not make it a second job, but have people which are dedicated and stuff, and also you want, for example, World of Warcraft, you want to run raid instances and you want to run them on a high level. We basically cleared Naxxrama's pre-Burning Crusade, stuff like that.
Yep.
When you want to do that, you need the right people. So you are invite only. This means you are looking for them and you are monitoring a lot of people and gathering data about how they perform.
Yep.
At the same time, when you are a small and new server, you never want to ask people from other servers which already do Let's Plays to join your server. This basically are still the funniest, seriously, the funniest mails which we share in Skype all the time. Like whenever somebody gets a new invite, we are looking, oh, right, and he got, wow, that's a whole bunch of 20 subscribers, right? And
please join my server, it'll be good.
So, well, it's yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there. We've all seen them.
You get these mails and you just think, you think your part, right? And that's it. I can totally understand where this motivation comes from well, maybe it works. Just be told it won't. It's people which are dedicated in such a way they know why they are on a specific server. They just know it. So with Moose, I was scouting for channels. And Moose had, how was that? He had an episode up where he was kinda not depressed or stuff like that, but
just not happy sounding.
It's more like no. Like there was a lot of real life stuff going on. All the members had stuff to do, right? So they had no time to really record. I think it was in kind of that time. And then I saw this episode and I saw how he was building, and I loved what he did there. He had this half circle shaped cliff resort thing, and a lot of stuff aside from it, and that really made me like, oh, that guy, he can actually build, right? I kind of want that. So I was just like asking, I don't know what exactly I was writing him in the first message, but it started just this exchange of, hey, how are you? How's it going? Everything okay? Would you be open of improving stuff? Or look, I have a proposition to make here. So it was a very relaxed, like two people talking, just exchanging their experiences, and in the end, figuring out, we kind of like each other. So look, I don't want to like leave your server as such, but maybe you might want to join in here as well, because as it seems you got the time, and I'm trying to establish a community here that has a little bit interaction there.
Yeah.
And then he joined and started, and that was a time where basically the atmosphere on Blockcentric was like gold diggers.
All right, okay.
Right? So because everything was fresh, everything was new, and I mean, we constantly had people on Skype, like 3 TeamSpeak sessions a day, so really close contact all of the time, because like not only in like the people are not what you see as an outsider when you're looking at Blockcentric as a server. You just see the videos.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Behind the scenes, there's a lot of other stuff going on. They like sometimes you come back, like if you don't have time to check Skype in the morning and you come back from
Yeah.
a working day and there are about 300 messages
Yeah.
and you are wondering like what the hell's going on here, could anybody like get me up to date? And then it's
Yep.
this